We can choose our future. We can choose to have a world with peace, a world without disease, a world without want, a world without pollution and dead whales. We can start to become what we really are, which is a gardener not just of our garden here on earth, the Eden that we were given, but a gardener of the galaxy.
So it comes back to people taking personal responsibility for what they think, what they want to believe, and what it is that they want to create.
Every one of us has a vote in terms of what happens in this time in the history of the world, because the vote is a non-verbal vote made with our hearts. We now know that the human heart is directly tied, directly linked to the fields of the earth that literally regulate the systems of the weather and the climate and the temperature. And when we feel certain ways in our body, our heart fields literally are registered by satellites orbiting 200 miles above the earth. That's how much influence we have.
This is what's happening now. We're starting to wake up, and we have the opportunity now. It's a wonderful time to be alive, because all these things are coming together in this point we call time, where we have the opportunity to break out of this cycle of mental and emotional imprisonment. We're being offered the key with knowledge, with understanding, with the gathering, opening awareness, and with the energy change that's underpinning that. It's now a time for us to decide if we're going to take the key and turn it.
And I am privileged to be alive in the most important era in the history of the human race.
We are witnessing the transition from the prison society to the paradise society, if you like, or the freedom society.
And we can't see that right now. I mean, we can hint at it, we can feel, we can see that there is tremendous change happening around us. But the kinds of changes that are about to occur, they will be rather surprising to people.
You will no longer work to have to eat, to have to clothe yourself, to have to put a roof over your head. That will not be a part of our reality in the near future. We are no longer slaves to their systems. We will be contributing, nurturing our natural talents to our communities, because we will have that want inside of ourselves. We won't live under the energy of competition, of greed, of power, okay, of extreme egos. That will not be part of our existence. That will all be dissolved. That's what all the pain and suffering is that we're going through now, is dissolving that within each and every one of us. And then you will have free time to express yourself and just be you. All the technological devices we will be using will be either exactly in equilibrium with the harmonics of this planet, or will be beneficial to the planet, will add. There will be nothing allowed to operate which will take any longer.
Our evolution is not an evolution of individuals. Our evolution is an evolution of community. Human beings, individual humans, each one of you, each one of us, is a cell in a larger community, coming together to share awareness to create one living organism, and it would be called humanity.
Okay.
We are not humans until we create humanity. When we create humanity, which is when we all recognize that we're all cells in the same living organism and work in a coherent fashion, we have then created the next level of evolution. And when humanity is complete, the Earth as an organism completes its evolution. It's a living, breathing, pulsing Gaia. It is now complete. When it is complete, when the cell completed its evolution, what was its next level of recourse?
Hook up with other cells.
Right, and when the human completed its evolution, what was it? To hook up with other humans.
Right.
When the Earth completes its evolution, we are then at the level of a unity with a voice of unity that allows us to speak as a one, which will allow us to speak with other ones.
Beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Every one of us is a soul on a journey who has taken a dive through space and time to have a third-dimensional experience for the purpose of remembering and evolving on our way back to the source. On the level of perception, evolution means an expansion of awareness, a growing realization of our true origin as an integrated participant and aspect of all that is. But since all we are is energy, then what does evolution mean on the level of vibration?
What you're going to see now are what happens to particles of sand and other various particles when a sound resonates across a plate and resonates those particles in tune with the sound. Because when we think, we're not just sending out a wave which resonates the energy, we're sending out on a frequency outside of the range of human hearing, we're sending out a sound. Everything is sound. When we think a sound goes out, it resonates the energy around us to that sound. And what you're about to see are some pictures that show this happening when sound is introduced, and how sound takes random particles and turns it into astonishing form.
Everything owes its existence solely and completely to sound. Sound is the factor which holds it together. Sound is the basis of form and shape.
So what you're looking at here is merely particles formed into patterns by sound. They were all over the place to start with, just in random positions on the plate. As soon as the sound appears, they form into these patterns, because everything is sound, and it is sound that turns matter and energy into form. Patterns on the wings of birds and insects are all the manifestation of the sound vibrations. Every organ in our body resonates to a certain frequency. And when our thoughts and emotions and stress and the vibrations that causes de-harmonize the vibrational state of our various parts of our body, we become ill. We think ourselves into illness because we're affecting the vibrational state of the body. And so every time you think and feel, you're resonating a frequency which is making the energy around you resonate to the same frequency. What you give out is what you create. Here you're seeing mini galaxies just formed by particles and sound. This is how the galaxies and the universe and the solar systems were formed and continue to be held in the structure they're in through sound. If the sound changes, the matter changes, the energy changes. So when you look at what it says in texts like even the Old Testament, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was sound. And sound is everything. When you think and feel, you create in sound. And we've seen the galaxies, and now here are the planets forming, just on a plate from particles caused by sound passing through them. This planet has a resonant frequency. It's called the Schumann cavity resonance. But basically, while that frequency holds, the planet will hold its present form. If the frequency changes, the form will change. It's the same with everything.
We believed up until recently that this number 7.8 was a constant, that every second that we experience, that Earth pulses a certain number of times. Well, something interesting began to happen in the mid to late 1980s. What we see is this. There's 7.0, here's 8, 7.0.